Welcome to this look at the third in my set of Farming Simulator 19 top 10 mods videos. With me, MrSealyp. Welcome to this edition of Top of the Crops. We're in our top 10. This episode, top 10 mods I love. Now, the previous two top 10s I've done, top 10 mods I always have installed, and top 10 bonkers mods. These don't fall into those categories. Now, are there any mods in either of those two that I do love? Yeah, there are. There are some mods in the mods I always have installed that I do love. I think they're brilliant mods. And also in the bonkers mods, there are some mods I love. These are different. These are mods that I love either for what they brought to the gaming that I played, whether it was during a Let's Play, the fun of using them, the look of them. Some of them is just purely down to the looks. I think they look fantastic. Some of them it's down to the attention to detail, the amount of options. They're just mods I love. Are they mods I used a lot? Some yes, some no. But they are mods I love. So I just thought, you know what, let's just go for it. Now, this one's an interesting one. They had an update, and I love it. I fiddled around with it, never actually used it in Let's Play, and I'm not even sure I even mod reviewed it. But this is the Kraz K257 by Cole911. So this is my number 10 slot of top mods I love. So the Kraz comes like this, and then you get a load of different backs on it. Now, specifically this model is the one I like, and this has got the kind of tow truck low loader type back on it. Now this has a winch option that I guess kind of got overlooked when it got updated a little bit, but it's brilliant. Now it's not necessarily designed for vehicles, it's designed for transporting implements and things like that, and actually it works really well, and I'll say I love it. I think the idea behind it is brilliant. The Kraz itself, it's a fantastic vehicle and it has modules that go on the back of it. But this is, wow. Now, I think the PC version, you kind of grab the winch and you pull it out by hand. What we'll do, we'll start it up, open up our menu, and it says unwind cable. Now, if you look, you can see, we'll see it unwind. L1 and circle. And that cable unwinds. I should have lowered the ramps first, so it's kind of automatically did the ramps for me. And the cable stops there just over the rollers. All very lovely. But what we've got here is a wood chipper. Could be anything really. Ball hitches, pin hitches. It depends. Some work, some don't. You have to be a little bit more kind of careful. But if we back up and we get to a point where it says attach, let's go to about there. We attach it and it hooks the winch on to whatever we've got on the back, and then we simply do put it onto the right option there, wind cable, how utterly wonderful is that? I love it, and that's why it's in here. Fold ramps and off we go. We transport our implement to wherever we want to go with it. When we get there, ramps down, unwind cable, then lets the whole thing back out again, and off we go. That's brilliant. So there we go, the Kraz 257, specifically the back with the winch on, but awesome. You'll find those under tools and miscellaneous, the backs for that, and the Kraz you'll find under the there we go, the transporter module for it. It's only £6 as well, which is absolutely brilliant. So that's our top 10. In 9th place, we've got the Liebherr 902 Excavator, or Excavator Liebherr 902 pack, more specifically. This is by Blacksheep Modding. I used this on various Let's Plays. I think Geiselsberger used it quite a lot. Holmerkra, absolutely I did. Why do I love it? I love the detail, I love the options on it, I love the sound of it, I love the fact it's fairly cheap. If you want to use something that's a bit of an all-rounder, plus it's got the tree harvesting header, so if you want to get into doing some forestry and cutting trees down, this is a really cheap way to get into it. Now, and this was fairly early on in the game as well, you know, there are a lot of mods that are available now and various different options for cutting down trees and things like that, but this, just brilliant. Under vehicles and, was it miscellaneous or forestry? We'll try forestry first. I think it might be miscellaneous. Yeah, there we go. Only 90 grand compared to like 300 grand for a Scorpion King and that kind of thing. It's really affordable. There's a wheeled version as well. And if we go across to tools, and I think it was under miscellaneous, there's various different attachments and grabs and buckets and, you know, what, I don't know, what's not to like? And like I say, I think because I used this so much on different Let's Plays, the sound of it, I got so used to that sound on Homurkra. But also the fact the excavator on the front was left stick. Yeah, L1, R1 and left stick, side to side, for moving piles of logs around, for tidying piles up, ready to be picked up or whatever you were going to do with them. I just, yeah, like I say, what's not to like about it? It's brilliant. Pretty sure we had, do we have a door open on this? That was for that. That was for the head. I think we had tilt that way as well, didn't we? Yeah, tilt down as well, so you could pick up trees off the ground. You know, just the versatility of it. It's not a big unit, and we have had various different excavator packs since. There have been a couple that I've reviewed. One was okay. This for me, just it hit the nail on the head straight away. It did what it should do, and because of that, I love it. That's my 9th place, the Excavator Liebherr 902 pack by Blacksheep Modding. In 8th place, we have another forestry machine. This is an absolute doozy. You may not have used it. You may have. I did. This is the Franken loader, I called it, but it's got a Frankenstein bit on the back. You'll see in a second. This is the John Deere 953 MH mill loader by NMC North Modding Company and Evgen Zaitsev. So as part of all the kind of forestry equipment, being a mill loader, it's got a much bigger grapple on it, but that grapple has straps, which for me, for logging, this made logging fun. It just made it so much easier. You do have an option for all these weights on the back. It's Frankenstein, so I think I did a mod review. I might even did a whole episode on this. And it works brilliantly. It's so good. You probably just saw, because when I was looking through under forestry technology, forestry machines, it's expensive. It only runs at 4 miles an hour, so it's fairly slow. We can have it standard like that, or if you're going to be lifting loads and loads of stuff, you can put the load of back weights on like that. I found low loaders, there weren't many that would take it that way, so you would actually normally, or what I was doing was driving on that way, so if the low loader was pointing in this direction, I would actually drive it on sideways to transport it. But as far as, like I say, I loved it because it made logging fun. It made it enjoyable. It kind of, my love of doing that was made better because of this. Now the grapple itself works brilliantly. You know, compared to most of the logging grapples, can be a little bit wishy-washy, but something like that, big old pile, straps up. Now you can close the grapple if you want to, but the beauty is you don't have to. And what you can also do as well, if you're picking up small piles that have been left all over the place, you can pick up one stack one way, one the other. When you pick up one stack, you then just swing the whole thing round, pick up the next stack, whoa, careful, careful, swing the whole lot round again, pick up the next stack. It was just worked well for loading lorries. It was brilliant for taking lumber to sell points. It was fantastic. All that is fantastic. It's no slouch. It's not a slow moving bit of kit with regard to its rotation and operation. Yes, obviously it's slow moving when we're trundling along, but yeah, just brilliant. Love it. Straps off. Now, like I say, we can close the grab, and the grab works pretty well in its own right. Look at that. Now, you do get a little bit of creep with logs anyway when you've got a lot of them, so putting the strap on as well just helps with that, and it's, in my opinion, brilliant. And guess what? I love it. So that was my 8th place. In 7th place, we've got this. This is the Massey Ferguson 356 loader pack. This I love for its probably its simplicity. This is by, where are we? This is by WhiteBull Modding. And I love this because when you're kind of getting into, if you're doing a start from scratch let's play and you want, you're looking for a skid steer loader, you're looking for a wheel loader, telehandler kind of cross thing, this kind of ticked all the boxes. And the other thing as well, it was so cheap, which meant you could get into moving stuff around. Yeah, you can put front loaders on tractors and that kind of thing. Of course you can. But if you wanted an independent vehicle, this actually came under skid steer loader. So anything skid steer loader would attach on the front of it. So it kind of made it a very, very, again, very versatile bit of kit. Like I said, you'll find it under skid steer loaders. 5,900. That's all it was. It's one of the reasons I used it quite a lot on various different Let's Plays. Holmerker again being one of them. That was what I was using to load my logs onto trailers because I needed a loader and I didn't have a lot of money, so I needed something cheap, and that worked absolutely brilliantly. It does come with a couple of bucket and the forks you see, but like I say, it will take skid steer load of stuff on it anyway. It does have as part of that a bucket, forks, and it has this rear weight. The rear weight is invaluable if you're going to be lifting anything fairly heavy on the front. But the other thing I liked about it as well, whereas the other skid steer loaders had a kind of limit to height, this obviously has a limit, but it went up and up and up and up and up. So if you were loading logs and stuff into trailers that had sort of high sides and stuff, it was perfect. Like I say, the price, what it did, how it operated, and for me as well, how it looked. I love it. I think it's absolutely brilliant. There we go. I'm going to say that a lot during this. So there we go. That's my 7th place, the Massey Ferguson 356 loader pack by WhiteBull Modding. In 5th, no, not 5th, so that was 7. 6th place, how if I could count, the Fendt Favorite 51X. This by Quadra 2003. This I love for a few different reasons. One, I love this slightly old. I mean, I love all tractors, but I like boxy, sort of older looking tractors a lot. This one was one of the first ones that we got with gearbox sound, like gearbox engine sound, which was brilliant. What I also loved a lot about this, the price was okay, but if you chose the old paint option, it halved the price of the vehicle. So it was almost like you were getting a second-hand vehicle. Plus, if you went for the 515C, you could get up to 195 horsepower. So really cheap, 195 horsepower, engine gearbox sound. What was not to like? And I used this on a 2 or 3 Let's Plays, I think, especially with like the petrol green, petrol blue. Brilliant. I'll show you what I mean. It was under small tractors. And there we have it, the 500 Favorit gear shift or standard. So you didn't have to have the gear shift if you didn't want it. So it says 76 grand, so 77,230 is its base price at the moment. Now if I go across to main colour, you've got an old metal, new metal, old metal. If you change it to old metal, the price drops down to 37,230. So just by changing the paint, you were getting an older model, it became cheaper. You had all the different options for wheels and that kind of thing, design and PTO. But when you get to the exhaust pipe, if you go all the way up through the exhaust options to that one, the exhaust 515C tuning, 195 horsepower. So you get a 195 horsepower tractor with gear shift sound, 45,730. Now, since this, there have been quite a few tractors that have had a low price point with a fairly high horsepower, but this was one of the early ones that did it. And I loved the sound of it. I loved driving it. It just looks, oh. What can I say other than what I've already said several times before? That's my 6th place, the Fendt Favorite 51X by Quadra 2003. In 5th place, we have got this. This is the Twin Screw XBR2. It's by SiiD Modding. Not the header, I just put the header on there so it didn't look odd without one. And it's this. Again, I love it because I love the look of it, because it looked different, because it was completely tracked, not tracks at the front, wheels at the back, completely tracked. Price wasn't too bad, but the capacity could be huge. Again, for large capacity with not a bad price, you could have a long pipe option on it as well. It does have a downside, and that was the horsepower wasn't particularly high. So because it had a large grain tank, the kind of thought was, well, if you go for a bigger header, large grain tank, you can have that clearing the field quite quickly, and you haven't got to unload as often. The problem was the horsepower couldn't cope with much bigger headers. But my way around that was just buy a second harvester, because buying two of those came in at the price of a larger harvester anyway. So it didn't really matter. And then, like I say, the capacity of it was absolutely bonkers. There's an option on it, 30-inch tracks or 36s. I've gone for 36s on this. Again, I think when it came out, I said it's very Thunderbird-esque, I thought. Just brilliant. And I'll show you what I mean. So 187,000 standard tank capacity sits at 14,100. So for 187 grand, you've got a 14,100 litre tank. That's an amazing price anyway. But if you go for the grain tank extension for the big tank, 29,100 litres. And the price is only going up to 229 grand for 29,100 litres. Like I say, there's numbers, there's light configurations, crawler tracks, 36 or 30-inch tracks. Doesn't look like a huge amount, but they're bigger. Short pipe or long pipe. The long pipe became invaluable if you use a larger header, and the green star if you wanted it. But it was just, I've always said when I do my mod reviews, I love it when you get something different, and this was really different, and it really stood out. And the other great thing I liked about it was on the field as well, because it was tracked. You get to the end of the field, and its turning circle was literally on its length. It didn't go off miles and turn around if you hired workers or anything like that. And as if that wasn't enough, it goes at 31 miles an hour on the road. So it's no slouch moving around anywhere. Love it. Absolutely love it. So there we go. That's the twin screw XBR2 by SiiD Modding. That's my 5th place. In 4th, we've got the Quadro Pro Baler pack. Now, this is by Blacksheep Modding. So we've got 2 from Blacksheep Modding in the top 10. We have. Fancy. We might even have 2 from North Modding Company as well, yeah. This I love because I loved the previous version of it, the Quadro Pack 5, which was this kind of bit of kit here that stacks bales 4 high, unload them, and I liked doing that kind of manual loading, and rather than doing 1 at a time, 4 at a time, it just worked. I really liked it on FS19. So on 19 it didn't happen, and then we got this, but the Pro Baler pack. So rather than a baler with a hitch that the other one had, this you got the baler with a hitch and that, but it also came with this as an addition, which was a windrower built in as well. What's not to love about that? And it just works brilliantly, flawlessly. And you know what I'm going to say. You'll find it under tools and baling technology. Now, the great thing about this was you had a load of options. So you have the standard baler with a rear hitch. So if you'd already done your windrows, or you were using a mower that windrowed already, you didn't need the windrow. You didn't have to have it. But you could also have a trailer hitch on that, so you can run the back bit. But then the one that's got the 14-meter windrower on it. We've got a Challenger version, Massey Ferguson, and New Holland version, and then you've got the Quadro Pro Baler 4 there, and you can change the colour of that to match up with the other bits and bobs you were using. 4 bales at a time, and off it goes. And I used this on Attingham Park fairly recently, so what we'll do is turn that on. So windrowing, baling, stacking, all at the same time. Now in essence, that rear section, that stacker, is an auto-load trailer. We've got it in its kind of auto-load function at the moment. I hope I've still got it in the right setting. There we go. Lifts it up. Just starting to wonder now if I've cut enough grass. I think I have. There we go. So that's now fully loaded. So unload, L1 and triangle. L1 and triangle, unload here. Drive forwards. Close the gate. If you forget to close the gate, it doesn't work on the next one. We've got a stack of 4 bales and off you go again. It couldn't... That's odd. Why did it just do that? The bottom bale just moved on its own. How weird. Now I've had it on Attingham Park where the top bales shifted just slightly, but then when I came to load them up with whatever bale grab I was using, it didn't seem to matter. That's odd. I don't know why it's done that. I was just about to say, what's not to like? And it's perfect. It works perfectly, and then that whole stack fell over, which is a little bit annoying. I still love it, regardless. I think it's brilliant. What an excellent bit of kit. Brilliant. There we go. So that's my 4th place, the Quadro Pro Baler packed by Blacksheep Modding. We're into our top 3, our bronze, silver and gold position. In 3rd place then, in bronze, we have got the NMC Griffin. Now this is the module version. There is a standard version, which is just a 5th wheel. I like this and liked it because of the design, because the tons of options. I'm not going to go through them all. There are loads. This is the module version. You can have a shorter version or a longer version. This one I've got with this module, the heavy haul, which puts the 5th wheel on there anyway. So this kind of served the purpose of doing all of them. The standard NMC Griffin that didn't have the module was just a 5th wheel. This will do everything. Plus there's loads of different modules, including if we go to our tools and miscellaneous, this came with, where are we? Heavy haul, which is the 5th wheel, timber bunk, hook lift, wood chipper, hook lift short, because obviously you can have different lengths of that, and there were all different backs and various different tanks and things that could come with it. I liked the design, I liked the light options, because I'm such a child. What I really loved when this first came out, and I think this again was one of the first, if not the first one, that had those lights. Great lighting all round. I mean, look at that. So, you know, again, now, this is a difficult category because the Griffin, I don't know, it's just, again, something for me personally that I loved about this one. But this was so hard doing it because if you think it, there were the Massey Fergusons by Peter J, small tractors. There's all the TLX Phoenix sets, you know, and the TLX Phoenix by 82 Studio are amazing. The Roadrunner Plus by Mantrid. There's the Axery, all the different lorries by Axery. There's the International Transtars by Rowley Christie 1. The BSM 850s, the Blacksheep Modding 850s. So many different lorry packs that were just wow. All the ones by how's it? HR Forst and Fazeugbau, Mr. Forst Technic. There's so many login ones and the MANs and so many packs. Honestly, it was really hard to pick. But this one for me, I don't know what it was, just because at the time when it came out, it kind of stood out as being very different with loads and loads of options. Just yeah, absolutely cool. That's the bronze medal, number 3, the NMC Griffin module by North Modding Company. In 2nd place then, you may have seen in the background, I reviewed this recently, and again, look at it, I mean, just wow. Oh, this is the TLX 3500 series, so this is the silver medal place, 2nd, by 82 Studio. Anything and everything by 82 Studio, top quality, tons of options, loads and loads of options, and this is no different. Different backs on this. There was the crew cab version like this, and then in the update it came with a single cab option as well. You can have the back with gooseneck. You can, you know, lighting packs, coloured lighting packs, mud tyres, swamp tyres. These ones, the swamp tyres. But does that not just look brilliant? I love the look of it, the sound of it. I think I've got the one with the lights when we turn it on. Yep. That all gradually lights up as you turn it all on. It is quite loud, but lights. And again, light bar on the top back section. We go through the light options. The lights, I mean, you know, you can see this from space when all the lights are on. And the interior, I mean, come on. Back comes down. We can raise and lower that rear hitch as well because we're sitting very high. So the ability to raise and lower that rear hitch. It's awesome. And I love it. I'm just gutted. When I was doing Stone Valley, had this have come out around then, I would have absolutely had one of these in Stone Valley. It would have been perfect on there, wouldn't it? Let's be honest. So that's our silver medal position. I think you can probably guess what my first place gold medal position, my top mod I love on Farming Simulator 19. It's not that. Of course it is. It's the AFM Santana 88 pickup by AFModding. Being that I'm a bit of a Land Rover nerd, I have owned a few in my time. I've owned a few of these in my time. This got updated recently with these fantastic new wheel options, fantastic back option. This one is, I think I went for the one that looks like an animal one with a curved back on it. Tyre options, sound, the lighting, especially with the new bull bar option on it. It just, I mean, it looks like a Land Rover. It's just, wow. Now, you may not like Land Rovers, and again, this is why doing top 10s is subjective, because, yes, this is my top 10 mods I love. I love this just because of my own history with Land Rovers, but even if you don't like Land Rovers, you kind of have to appreciate, look at it, you know? Like the TLX 3500, which is, I mean, does that just not look brilliant? Right-hand drive as well. Interior, I mean, every old Land Rover I've been in, it just looks just absolutely right. Straps in the back. Rear tailgate comes down. Rear trailer hitch. You know, it's just... Now, when I did on 6 Ashes, I did a whole episode Land Rover trialing. I set up a whole Land Rover trialing course. One thing that's had trouble with, and I don't know whether or not this is the same size log, it might be a little bit smaller. This really struggled to get over the bigger logs. I think with this new wheel setup, I think the suspension may be a little bit higher potentially. And I know there's a lot of the pickups and stuff, and like I say, the TLX there, that's going to roll now, isn't it? Of course it is. There we go. I mean, obviously the TLX sits way higher anyway, would go over that like it's a toothpick, but honestly, I don't know. Like I say, it's just, again, it's kind of like when I was doing the Bonkers mods. Each one of these, for different reasons, has a place in my heart. And it just makes me smile every time I see it, every time I use it. That's my first place. You'll find it under vehicles and cars. Obviously, the crew cab and single cab 3500 are both there with a plethora of options. There is the standard version of this, and then there's the pickup. I prefer the pickup. Like I say, in the recent changes, we have got options for lights, and if you go for the bull bar option, it puts that on the front, which looks great. Off-road is what it came standard with before. There's now a road, it's like street option, and then we've got the mud option, which is I think is brilliant. And on the back, you've got bale loading. That's the one, the hard top canopy. I just love that. That looks, everything I remember as a kid as seeing Land Rovers out and around farms in, you know, stainless steel, galvanized backs on them with sheep in or a bale or whatever. That's it. That's my top 10 mods I love. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you found it interesting in some way, shape or form. If you have, please give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. And if you want to share this video, then please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do, thanks for watching.